Okay, so if you've studied my online baile study for any extended period of time, or even just a little while, I'm sure you realize now, but I really like to preach the power and simplicity. So what we're going to work on today is a desplante por Buleria, and it's going to be even slightly simpler than some of the other things that we covered por Buleria. However, you're going to see how if you really look at the details in the simplicity, you'll find how you could be much more effective as a communicator and more aesthetically pleasing as a dancer, more musically pleasing as a dancer to watch. So let's get going. So we're going to start with the same basic way you start the simplest of desplantes, which is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that remains the same. The next part is where we're going to change. A lot of times we've gone over things like or these kind of tags on the end of the desplante. Whereas today, all I'm going to have you do is march in place. And we're going to use the body a little bit. But we're going to see how you can layer these simple ideas and make them very effective as tools of communication. So we're going to do the normal one here. From there, you're just going to march left, right, and march all the way through. Okay? That little tag at the end, I'm going left, right, double touch, all the way through the 12th. Okay? So it looks like this all together. Okay? Now, the steps are pretty simple. What really sells the step, number one, is your intention. What I mean by that is you have to understand the way that music rises and falls, kind of peaks and then resolves in flamenco. And again, I'm sure you have seen how many videos of me coming and talking about this very thing. So let's look at that second part of the step, assuming that we've already mastered the beginning of that desplante, the very basic 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now when I'm here, let's say I'm going to do the female style. So what I'm going to have you do is grab your skirt. I'm going to use my shirt as though it's my skirt. I'm going to have you come to the side, to the side, to the side, and then through all the way to the end. Okay, as a practice. That's to get you used to using your body. Now a nice thing about holding on to the skirt is not only does it look nice, but it encourages you to use your body to move and shape. Okay? If I were, you can use your skirt without using the body, but it looks like this if you're doing it, which would be incorrect. What you want to do is get a little bit of torque of the upper body. So in that part where I'm marching, I want to go from here to here to here and then through all the way to the end. Now what I'm having you do is grab at the end, but we'll cover that when we get to it. So that's your basic manipulation of the body. Now how do we make that interesting, or how do we make it more dynamic? Well, one thing is, because we know that Buleria is eventually going to peak and then resolve, we want to reflect that peak in our body and in the simple step. So one way to do that is to start out small with your first step, go a little bit more the second step, and then a big one on the third. And because we know that the compás, when we're doing palmas, for example, and Bulerias goes, and we have that little peak, and then there's a silence and a pause sometimes. And then there's that resolve. We want to reflect that in our movement. So if I'm going 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm looking for is that pause. Okay, and again, that's a very simple idea, but you're accurately reflecting what's happening in the music. And actually, you're telling the musicians and showing them this very simple idea so they can see it coming and they can do it with you. When you and the musicians are together, there's absolutely nothing better to be involved in, to watch, or just to just to experience, okay? So you want to go small, a little bit bigger, biggest. If you want, you could always take your focus over the shoulder to really exaggerate it. And then from there, what you're going to do is resolve all the way through to the end, okay? So that second part by itself looks like this. Okay? Now, men can do the same thing. I would do it a little more subtly, but the same idea. It could be, you could also grab your shirt here, but this is more of a female idea, a feminine idea to twirl, okay? We're not really looking to twirl. What we're really looking to do is just accent. So 9 times out of 10, men will kind of be up here with arm gesturing, just a small little. So it's basically the same thing that women are doing, it's just putting an edge more on it instead of rounding it out. We're still having this sharp little thing to the side. Now I could do something like smaller, bigger, and here that's a little more masculine, this idea, especially when you use closed fists. So I could be here, and then from there, resolve. So you have all this sharp, and then ease it up at the end, and resolve, okay? So now when you resolve, this goes for men and women, as I'm coming through, if you want to grab an accent, that's fine, but don't cut the movement short. So you don't want to be here, because then it doesn't have a chance to transmit. So when you're resolving, there's a sense of letting it extend and letting it come down, okay? That's something you'll have to work on, but just think of it like breathing. You don't want to breathe like this, but rather let it go all the way through. Dance fully with your body. So go all the way through. So the whole thing looks like this. Okay? So it's a simple idea, study. Again, look for the simplest things you can find out there and figure out how to use them effectively, and you'll be a good dancer regardless of your talent level or your skill level. You can always learn. You can always learn to be a truly genuine flamenco dancer.